Here we are again. This is a follow-up to my last video about the launch of Xdefiant and my opinions about the future of the game. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out, though if you're familiar with Xdefiant at all, this video will still make sense. In that video, I said that this update and future updates to this game were insignificant and would cause the death of this game within a couple months if the volume of content was not drastically increased as future updates came out. I said this because the roadmap for Season 1 and future updates was full of a whole lot of nothing and the player count was already rapidly dwindling. In this video, I'm going to talk about the update and why I feel like I was completely correct, and yeah, not only did we get absolutely nothing, the stuff they added was completely mediocre and nothing at all. Let's start with the weapons. A whopping 3 whole weapons were added. That's like what, half of what a COD season gets? They added a sawed-off shotgun secondary. You know what, cool, I like diversity. Shotguns get utterly cucked by the shitty attachment system, but I'll save the complaining for later. Next is an assault rifle. Now, Xdefiant has a very basic array of assault rifles, all fully automatic, fast, and boring. This new gun is no exception, it's just a copy and paste of the others with penny percentage differences. I'd accept this from modern CODs, they already have over 100 guns and add about 5 a season, however Xdefiant has only added 3 weapons. This gets even worse with the third and final gun, which is just a clone of the current 50 caliber sniper. And I don't want to hear they can't add anything other for snipers, because yes they can. We could get a semi-auto 50 cal, we could get a one-shot reload sniper that pierces walls or some shit. And for God's sake, this is a futuristic game. There's no shame in getting absolutely fucking wacky. Okay, what else do they add? A new faction. As a Siege fan, I would have absolutely loved to play the new faction, but to unlock them without money would take about over a week of grinding, and yeah, I just don't care that much. In my last video, I said that the dead set grind was insane and they needed to adjust it for future factions. However, I forgot who made this video game I'm talking about here. They aren't that exciting, so I don't really give that much of a shit, but I do want to highlight the shield. When they announced this, I got so excited. As a veteran COD/Siege shield shitter, I was truly enamored by the prospect of this as an actual primary weapon. Being able to use any secondary with a flash shield sounded actually really cool and maybe want to play Season 1. But here at Ubisoft HQ, fun is not allowed. Maybe it would have been a little overpowered, but they could have made it have no attachments and remove your gadget and I would still have been fine with it. And just to be clear, by the way, it was added as an alt, which is boring for many reasons. Their abilities are just boring as hell and don't really fit a fast-paced shooter like Xdefiant. Siege has all these abilities and this was chosen? Really? On the topic of Siege, the Siege map that was added, Clubhouse, is also really ass. It's distracting front and foremost, but the main problem is its size and spawns. It takes 6 light years to find someone, and when you do, you get lampooned from 2 angles. They also added a couple maps, but I mean, who cares? I know this sounds really negative, but the game already has a surplus of maps, and the ones added aren't interesting, and we just don't need them at the moment. They are not the problem. Okay, how about we look at the patch notes? At the very least, maybe the glaring issues with how this game was created have been ironed out. Answered a community asked to add a headshot icon to the kill feed because it feels good to rub it in. In all seriousness, there were quite a few actual changes, but I mean, even then, instead of fixing the issue, they mostly just slapped a band-aid on it in the form of, slight percentage changes. I'll say it again. I really want this game to succeed, but it is just not going to if it stays on this path. Thank you for watching. If you're gonna play this fucking dumpster fire, hope you enjoyed playing with all the sweats that came back after leaving mid-season, because there's nothing to fucking do. Spend your time on better games. Have a good one, and goodbye.